Welcome to the community that discusses all things Star Wars, Marvel, and more. My comic book goals of 2024 next. Hello, my weary travelers. I'm your guy, Dave, and we are about to explore another episode of My Galaxy of Comics. Today, I'm going to talk about the comic books I'm targeting in 2024. Before we start, make sure you Hulk smash the like button, turn on the notifications by ringing that bell, and subscribe to help out what I do. But most of all, comment and tell me what you think about what my goals are like. Tell me about your goals. I want to hear about you. I would rather hear about you than me. Let's go. I'm going to talk about My Galaxy of Comics 2024 comic book goals. Let's get started. Of course, I got a lot of slides to pull up, but let's start with my I'm gonna start. Here's how we're doing it. We're starting with like the lowest costing, maybe my less important pickups, to my bigger personal grails. I'm not going after Silver Age or Golden Age in any of these pictures, but these are my personal goals in the comic books I want to get to. Once I get to this, past this level, I will start thinking, hey, I can go out and get those grails that everybody else wants. But for me, these are the comic books I want. And we're going to start out with Spider-Man 2099. This was the era I was collecting in. I got that, McFarlane. Everybody knows my goal is to get and we'll talk about what my goal is later. I don't want to spoil anything, but if you know me, I'm a Todd McFarlane fan. I was collecting back in the day, but 2099 came out about the time I was collecting in college for a brief period, and that's where I was introduced to comic books. I was already like 19 years old. I knew they existed. I've had comics, but I didn't collect them or really get into them or read a lot of them until I was in college because of a friend I had. On Spider-Man 2099, I really want to get a 9.8 copy of this. It doesn't have to be slabbed. I want to get a 9.8 worthy copy of this. It's hard to come by because of the cover, but I really like it. And coming out in the next movie, the next Miles Morales Spider-Man movie, I think this will start popping off again. I really do. But I want one copy to say I have it. That's my copy. It's in perfect condition. Let's go. Here's another one. I was big fan of Rebels. Big fan of Rebels. And this is Kanan #6. This is where a lot of the big names in the show were first introduced in the comic books. And obviously with the TV show recently, although it didn't, I liked it. I liked the show. I didn't I could have used more. I could have used a different maybe storyline, but I liked it, and but I really loved the cartoon. And I'm not a big cartoon guy until I saw Rebels, and this was an amazing show. And Kanan, this is where a lot of the characters were first introduced to comics. So this is a big find on my list to get, again, a minty copy of this one. Of course, we gotta get Star Wars Heir to the Empire #1. I really wanna get the character introduced in this comic book. It's part of the it's part of the Ahsoka series. I think this is an important comic. It's undervalued. I don't know why, but again, black cover, hard to come by, perfect copies. But I definitely want to get this one. I need to get this to my Star Wars collection. So let's go on with that. Here's a comic book that I almost picked up for $45, and it looked minty, on eBay. I didn't pull the trigger. Next thing you know, everything's 90 raw copies, even not even perfect ones. I was a little worried about the back, that maybe the claws were cut off too low, like it was miscut. So I didn't get it. But this one I want because of the back cover rather than the front cover. But Wolverine #1, the first introduction of Patch, first ongoing series. of Wolverine. I was started collecting this probably around number 50, like 45, 50 when I was in college. I don't have that collection anymore, but I am starting over. I did get a bunch of Wolverines in a dollar bin, probably paid like 40 cents a piece for them after it's all said and done. Probably got about 20 copies of Wolverine series. So I kind of want to get that run up to maybe 100 or something. And let's start with number one here is a big pickup for me. If I can get it, I want it minty. This particular comic is not completely on fire or anything. So I think it's pretty affordable to get this in a CGC 9.8 sometime. And the reason why I want it in a case is because I want to look at that back cover. I don't want it in just a poly bag. I want a 9.8 and I want to look at that back cover. I'll take a 9.6, but I'm shooting for 9.8. All right, here we go. Got the first appearance of uh, we got ASM Original Sin number 4. Uh, the first appearance of Silk. Yeah, sorry. First appearance of Silk. I put this low on my list, but I think it's an important character. I think it's going to introduce down the line. So I want to get ahead of myself and get this. I got her second appearance, number 5, I believe. So I don't like the cover at all. It's just really weird with the big glasses. I just it's not an appealing cover to me. I wish they would have I wish they would have put her face or her character on the cover. They got her being bit, I guess, but I think an important character moving forward in the Spider Verse. So we'll see. But I want to get this one. Raw copy is fine for me. This cover is nothing I really want to display, but it's an important comic in the Spider Verse, so I'll get that. Believe Star Wars 68. This is the first time Mandalorians were mentioned. So I probably should have this higher because how much I like Mandalorian, but why not? I raw copy is fine. If I get a nine or above, something like that, in a CGC, I'm cool with that. But my goal here is I'm a big Mandalorian fan. Now this one, I almost wanted to pull a trigger on a $200 comic, and it looked like I could get really high grade on it. And this is the first appearance of Rogue. And although the cover's not that appealing, just the significance of the popularity of that character, I love her. She's probably one of my top 10 characters in the comic book universes. So I would love to get this comic book in a decent grade. I think I just want to have it, and that's why it's not higher on my list. Now this one, Amazing Spider-Man 361, I have one, but it's the second print. Although I think it's a better looking comic, and I got that probably in the early 2000s. When I bought this off the shelf, maybe 3 copies of this, 2 or 3, and I sold it for gas money to get back from Colorado Springs to South Dakota, and I am so saddened by that. And I would really love to have this comic, and again, it's pretty new, so I really want a minty copy of this. Amazing Spider-Man 361, gotta have it. I got all the ones that really go in that Carnage line of the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm terrible with memories. I'm really new getting back into this, so me popping off names and characters and numbers, I'm still getting used to it. So bear with me. But 361, huge key for me to get. Want to get a good copy. Don't need to explain this one. Uncanny X-Men 266, also probably in my top 10 characters. I really want to get this one. Amazing or Uncanny X-Men 266. Got to get this. I got 267. I want to get 266, obviously. I love this cover. Great cover. Got to get it. Gambit is one of my top 10 characters. Now I got Amazing Spider-Man 1, but I want the platinum version. I got the polybag version, although it's not polybag. I got the silver and the gold. I need the platinum. I don't care about some of the other ones, or like I guess maybe it'd be nice to get a newsprint a newsstand version of it, but I want to get this copy, the platinum. I probably can't get in high grade because there's not that many of them out there, and if they are raw, they're not in the greatest of conditions. But I just want to have it. Just want to have it. That's all. All right. And then Uncanny X-Men 129. I believe this is the Kitty Pride, maybe. Or yeah, I'm not sure. It was a first character. This may be the first appearance of the White Queen. I think that might be it. There's a couple of first appearance characters. I think this is an important comic. I really should have reminded myself why I wanted this comic. That's how silly I am. But the Uncanny X-Men 129. Love to get this. I do believe it's the first appearance of the White Queen. Um, and that's why I wanted it, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Here, Mandalorian One Virgin copy, the black and white one. Oh, I just love this comic. The way it looks. I put a graded copy here because I want nothing but a graded copy of this 9.8 and keep it forever. Big Mandalorian fan. Plus, it's autographed. I would prefer it. I would want it autographed, but I'd take it without the autograph. Here's a copy that is just. I love it. I'm a big MJ fan. So Amazing Spider-Man 601. This was the controversial copy because they made her look too too skinny or whatever, and women don't look this. Body shaming. You really need more of a chunkier MJ for body positivity. Blah 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 blah. I want it because MJ looks hot in this one. 601. Big fan of MJ. Love Spider-Man. Gotta have this one. And it is hard to even find a a mid-range copy that's not $150, right? It's just this is going to retain its value, and people are just going to want it. It's going to come up all the time, but I really want a nice, decent copy of this. So Amazing Spider-Man 601. Shout out to MJ. All right, Thrawn, number one. Back I pointed out that I wanted this one because that was his first appearance of Thrawn, Star Wars Heir to the Empire. This is a mini series, Thrawn number one. It's a variant, and it just looks badass. And of any Thrawn comic, I want this one. I don't even care about his first appearance. I want this one. This is my favorite Thrawn comic for the art, and just gotta have it. Just gotta have it. That's the one I want. I believe this is the first appearance of Boba Fett, Star Wars number 42. And of course, it's Boba Fett. Got to get Boba Fett. Although the Boba Fett movie, Book of Boba Fett, wasn't all that great, or the TV show, I mean, wasn't all that great. This would be a Star Wars key that I got to have, which leads me to I need Star Wars number one. I I always looked at this and thought none of these characters look like the guys in the movie, and I never, just not at all. They tried to make him more heroic, more huskier. Look at Luke here; he looks like a giant in the top left hand corner. He's a little dude in real life. And then Darth Vader looks green. So all those things. I don't know if this picture is from a different a second print or third print, but I want Star Wars number one, first print, 1977. If this is not the one, I apologize for putting up the wrong picture. But Star Wars number one, gotta have it. Any Star Wars collection, gotta have it. Here and now, notice these are moving up in price. Amazing Spider-Man 252, a big time and a homage to Amazing Spider-Man number or hold it. Sorry, the first appearance of Spider-Man. What is it? Amazing Fantasy number 15, homage to that. So Amazing Spider-Man 252. This is a black symbiote suit key, and I gotta have it. That's it. Here's a comic book. Gotta have it. The New Mutants 98, first appearance of Deadpool. Love the cover. So colorful. Obviously, you don't know how to draw human beings very well. But the use of space and the Deadpool looking badass in the middle with his tiny ankles and weird feet. Yeah, of course. Gotta get New Mutants 98. This is the key, the big movie coming out. I probably can't get this. at a decent price. So who knows? But I put it on my list. I put it on my list. And obviously, Todd McFarlane, one of his best covers, most notable covers of all time. Now, I do have me pull it up really quick. I always bring this comic book out every time I mention that. Obviously, this is his best cover of all time. I would say that, and Spider-Man #1 was also awesome, but Batman 423, he he did this. He drew the. This is where basically Spawn capes come from, apparently. But he drew the capes so he didn't have to spend so much time drawing the anatomy of the girl or Batman that he just draped her a cape around her for time's sake, and ultimately created one of the best covers of all time. Apparently, this used to be a $10, $15 comic back in the day until the appreciation of it exploded. I may never get a copy of this, but I don't necessarily need it in a high grade. I just got to have a Todd McFarlane classic cover. Big fan here. Now, next is another Secret Wars 8. I got Secret Wars 4 recently, so that's pretty awesome. But Secret Wars #8, I think this is the first appearance of the symbiote suit. Gotta have it. Let's go. If I'm mistaken, correct me in the comments. I deserve ridicule if I get something wrong. But Secret Wars #8, another symbiote suit. Key, gotta have it. Here's one of the things I love: the Phoenix story, and I was at Phil's Comics, and they had a 9.0 version of this on their wall, CGC 9.0, and they had it for $1,000. I think they may have paid 950 for it when they finally sold it, but God, it just was up there, and I wanted to have it so bad. Um, I may get, I'll get a copy sometime. It doesn't have to be high grade, but I gotta have this comic, and that is I think this is the first appearance of Phoenix. So speaking of Ahsoka, I talked about her earlier. This is the first appearance of Ahsoka. I don't love this cover at all, and Ahsoka's really tiny in the front there, but it's a nice image, I believe, of Anakin and her, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and yeah, I gotta have this because first appearance of Ahsoka. Now this kind of thing is getting out of my price range a little bit. These are maybe pie in the sky. The next few comics may be pie in the sky this year. One of these, though, I'm really going to go after and hopefully get. So these last one, two, so starting with X-Men 101. I believe that was 101, right? Yeah, X-Men 101. Now Ahsoka's first appearance in Clone Wars #1. Uh, these last five are the tougher ones that I'm probably only going to get one of these if I can. And here's the first appearance of Gwen Stacy. Edge of Spider-Verse 2. I could get a later print. Obviously, I want a #1 print. I might settle for a later print, but I think of all the Spider-Verse characters, her and Miles Morales obviously are the two big ones. I recently got Spider-Punk #1 first appearance, so that's pretty cool. I want to get, obviously, my first comic I said was Spider-Man 2099. That'd be another one. I also said Cindy Moon, who was his first appearance of Cindy Moon. Those are also important. I've already talked about them. But obviously, if you're gonna get Gwen Stacy, you got to get Miles Morales. It's down. It's more affordable than ever. I'm probably gonna decide between this comic and Spider-Man. Oh, I accidentally what? Oh, I put Amazing Spider-Man 300. My bad, and I didn't, and I made it block myself out. I screwed up that slide, but it should be Fallout 4. Yeah, Fallout Ultimate Fallout 4, and the next one would be Amazing Spider-Man 300. So Amazing Fallout 4 or Amazing Spider-Man 300. I want to get one of these at least this year. Uh Probably better off getting the Amazing Spider-Man 300 because there's so many more of them out there. But if I get Fallout 4, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Now, Tell me in the comments what you think about my goals. Now, I did knock off one of my goals before I did this video, so I didn't put it on here. Was Spawn 1. I got a good copy of that. It's probably a 9.6 at best, because there's some rub on the front cover on the black, and it's just I don't think you get a 9.8, but it was worth $30 that I paid for it. And I got a couple other comics at the same time, so I got a little uh, combo deal. Got Spawn number 9, and I got the Amazing Spider-Man where he's punching the Hulk in the nuts by McFarlane. So I finally got that one. So I got those three comics for $60. So I figure I paid about $330 for the Spawn one. Now, tell me what you think in the comment section, and what do you think my 2024 goals are, and see which one's attainable. I want to hear your goals. What's the comic book you're going after this year? Cue the music.